So last Monday, we talked about how Rust is getting some changes to it that will allow for much faster compilation times, and today we're actually going to test those things out and just see if they actually make a difference. So I've gone ahead and I installed 3 different repositories to my system. One is a personal project that I'm working on, and this is 28 kilobytes. The second is Tokyo, which comes out to almost 13 megs, and then the third is my favorite code editor Z, which comes up to 81.61 megs. And on top of this, we're also going to compare the compilation times for a very bare bones basic Hello World program, just so we have like a sort of a benchmark. So to start us off, let's go ahead and dig into that Hello World. So we'll do cargo new, and we'll just call it HW for Hello World, and we'll go ahead and cd into that. Cool, and then we're going to go ahead and do cargo build, but we're going to do a release build. The reason for this is it's going to take a little bit longer than normal, and the reason why is because it loops in all the extra optimizations from the compiler so that we get like a real semblance of what it's like in a production environment. Okay, so that ran in 2.06 seconds, which for a very simple Hello World program is abysmally slow. And now we're going to test this out with the nightly build with the exact same command that was recommended in that video. Okay, so as it turns out, I'm a little bit of an idiot because this particular way of setting flags is more of a Unix only thing, and I'm on Windows, so that doesn't really work very well, which is why we get this nasty, ugly looking error. So that didn't work, but we are going to just open up gitbash and run it there instead. Actually, we need to do this after we get that particular toolchain installed, so let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, great, we're fully installed, so let's clear this out, and then we will run this again and see how long that takes. So a couple things. First, I'm going to move over here for a minute so we get a little bit better visibility. And then secondly, as it turns out, there was a little bit of a typo in that initial command. It's supposed to be threads equal 8, not threads minus 8. I don't know why I hit the minus key, but here we go. So that actually built a Hello World program in a little bit less than half the time. So instead of the, what was it, 2.06 seconds, I believe it was? Yeah, 2.06. It was a flat 1 second. So now that we have the full workflow set up and we don't have to install anything else, fortunately, then we can go ahead and cd into the other directories just to see what happens there. Alright, so starting off with my personal Rust project, let's go ahead and build the release version. So I completely forgot about this. When I started this project, it was on a Linux machine. I'm currently recording this on Windows, as you could tell from the Windows PowerShell, so this unfortunately isn't going to work very well, and I don't have WSL installed at the moment, which kind of has me a little bit concerned that we're not going to be able to run these builds for Z, and it's not going to be able to give us the time frame output, because Z is built for Mac, and again, I am on Windows. But we can go ahead and jump into Tokyo and see what happens there. Alright, so let's run this release build. So I'm just going to move my big head out of the way, but that took about 24 seconds to build, which it's kind of a while. Now let's see if we can get better results with the nightly build. Okay, so that went down from 24.08 to 15.12 seconds. That is a large amount of time. Okay, so we're going to try one more, and I can't really guarantee that this is going to work, but it would be very interesting to see if we can do it. We're going to try to do the Dino repository. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's a modern runtime for JavaScript and TypeScript. It's kind of like Node, but it's the one with the dinosaur logo instead. So we'll go ahead and run the cargo build release here and then do the same, but for the nightly version over on gitbash. Actually, I just realized doing them both at the same time locks up the lock file, so we're going to do it one at a time and then compare results. The reason why I'm leaving a lot of these errors or fuck-ups or what have you inside of the actual video itself without taking them out is because I feel it's very important to showcase the learning process through this sort of thing. You know, nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not going to pretend to be perfect, so I just feel it's really important to have that level of transparency. By the time this compilation finishes, if it ever does, it's probably going to be the next day. Okay, so the compilation failed, mostly because there's a couple of dependencies that my system doesn't have on it installed already that Dino needs in order to actually build. Now currently I'm a little bit too lazy to go and get that fixed properly, but what I will do is I will put the total compilation time in the video itself when I'm going to edit this. And if I forget to put it there for whatever reason, it's going to be in the description. But with that said, let's go ahead and try out this nightly release build. And again, same story on this situation. I know it's not going to complete the build now, but I can still go back and just figure out how long it took when I'm editing the video. And there's the failure point. Now again, because we couldn't get a full compilation, we couldn't see exactly how long it took, so without the nightly builds, it took this long, and then with the nightly release build, it took this long. It looks like Rust is finally fixed.